What is up, everybody, and thanks again for tuning in to my channel where we talk about how to do it the entrepreneurial way. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you tips on how to write your first ebook. So if you're with it, let's get it. But before we get into the video, you know I'm going to mention the Bible Table Podcast. Make sure you hit the link down in the description box below. So without further ado, let's get into it. So you're trying to write your first ebook and you're just not exactly too sure how to go about doing that. You got millions of ideas. You don't know if you want to write children's books, you want to write fiction, fantasy, you don't know what you want to write. Now, first off, whatever dedication that you have, make sure you hold on to that. It takes some dedication and a lot of peace of mind, because you will be overwhelmed with the constant ideas coming to your mind. For some, you might experience writer's block, but don't worry, that's gonna blow over. I remember when I wrote my first book, I was so burnt out, my eyes were hurting in any direction that I looked at. My eyes were literally like I literally had to look just like that any direction that I turned. Don't do that. I was staring at a screen so long typing my books, it wasn't worth the pain that I experienced later on with my eyes. First thing that you want to do, come up with your idea. Ebooks aren't that different from physical books. So be just as serious with this ebook as you would if you were writing a physical book. Once you have your idea, build on it. Brainstorm, do whatever you got to do. Because I know you have so many ideas. They're going this way and they're going that way. They're going up, they're going down. Just take one idea and build on it. Next thing you want to do, develop your ideas with organization. A little organization goes a long way. Keep your notes together. At one point, you may become so burnt out that you're taking notes anywhere that you can. From the dry erase board to the sticky notes to the notepad in your phone. Anything that's gonna help you stay organized, that's what you wanna keep aboard. But that organization also prevents you from jumping all over the place. Your ideas are important, so you don't wanna be wasting time being scrambled like, wait, where did this go? Where did that go? This goes here? Oh, I can't forget about that. You know, you wanna keep your ideas together. Keep them posted wherever you feel comfortable with doing so. Now, it's very possible to start from the beginning of your book. Some people might start with the end first. And then out of nowhere, you might think of more ideas to spice up your middle of your book, which could put a lot of confusion on yourself that you really don't need. Then, put your ideas together. If you're writing a story, make sure you write down all of your characters. Get a feel of who they are and what's their specific purpose in your story, as well as the specific connection they have with the main character of your book. Don't feel like you have to have everything solidified right away. That's what the rough drafts are for, so take your time. Be patient with this. Allow that creativity to flow. This is your first book, so it may not be as great as somewhere down the line where you're writing like your 5th or your 10th book. And now you're starting to write. Write it how you imagine it, and do it in different ways more than once. When you're doing things like your chapters for your book, make sure you're recording it and numbering it. But that is if you decide to do chapters. If you decide to do something like kids books, then it may play out quite differently. And at the end of the day, if you're writing kids books, sometimes chapters aren't the way to go, unless you're writing books for kids of a middle age range, more so like the middle school going into high school kind of range. So now you're on chapter 1. What's happening? Ask yourself, what exactly is happening in this chapter? What's gonna happen in the next chapter? And then you're moving on to the next and next and the next. So as you're jotting down these responses to what's gonna happen here and what's gonna go there, it leaves you little room to start scrambling. Because the last thing you wanna do is scramble. Just like mentioned before, writer's block it does happen. So don't be shocked when it happens to you. Sometimes you're gonna get irritated and you're not gonna wanna continue to keep writing. And you might not even pick it up for like another few days, maybe another few weeks, just whenever you're comfortable. If you're wondering how you can jot these ideas down that you have, try a notepad, dry erase board if you have one, or note cards, notepad, or sticky notes. Sticky notes never hurt anybody. These are just simple, easy tips and tricks to pick up along the way as you're writing your ebook. When I first started writing, I would literally try to write one book in one day. And I was so burnt out by the end of the day. I didn't even want to, I could barely even look at things. I didn't want to hear things. I hated when people interrupted me. That was putting way too much stress on myself. Do not put that same kind of stress on you. Believe me, you don't want it. And another thing that I was doing as I was writing the book, I would have other ideas for other books. So then I'm writing this book already, and now I'm jotting down other ideas for other books. And it was just creating a bunch of confusion because I I was creating other characters and what they were about, what they were doing, and their purpose over here while I'm still trying to work on this. And then there were times where this book might not even get finished right away because I'm getting so good at doing these over here. That's a quick way to get burnt out so much faster. Don't be that person. And when you're a fresh independent author, you want to stay as cool as you can. You want to be like, you want to give your first book everything that you got, but you don't want to kill yourself in the process. But it was easy for me because I'm one of those type of people that if I don't write down what I'm thinking right there, I'm going to end up forgetting it. And then I'm going to be upset later that I can't remember what I was trying to say or what I was thinking because now I don't remember. It was easier to write them down as I was going to try not to force myself into any anger later on. You know, that force of trying to remember everything. Because I'm not going to remember everything. You aren't either, especially when you're trying to write. So just be patient. You know, if you get an idea for another book, write it down and move it out the way. Continue your primary focus on that book, the one you originally started. One thing that I do want to mention though, promotion. Just think about it. You just wrote your first or your fourth book and no one knows that it's coming. That's going to be hard to get readers to come and read about your book if they didn't even know it was coming or it came out of nowhere in the last minute. But I didn't say it was impossible. But nonetheless, you always want to promote your book. In this day and age, you can pay influencers to promote your book for you. If you're somebody who has a major following in social media, you can promote your book yourself. You already have tons of followers to push that for you. There are some novel sites that you can pay to promote your book as well. They can put your book on the front page of their website. But do all of that promotion sometime before you release your book. Give your novel time to build some hype, some anticipation around it before you just release it. And then after you've done so much promotion, everything is good, then boom, you hit them with the masterpiece. Check with the pricing of your book too. You don't want to sell a 5-page book for $40. Just think about what you would pay for a book, but never undervalue yourself. But if you happen to create a book that's so amazing that it becomes like a best-selling book of all time, make sure you price it correctly. Once again, when you plan on releasing your book, you want to make sure you plan accordingly. Like say today is September 21st. If it were me, so much promotion around my book and I'm doing this, that, and the third to make sure the world knows that I'm making sure on social media that I'm putting it out there, I'm not going to be releasing the book probably somewhere between like October 22nd and, you know, towards the end of the month, something around that time. But that's just me. You may feel different. And make sure you're following whatever guidelines that you made for yourself. Whatever you said that's going to happen on this day, make sure you're following that. Make sure you're staying on track so you're not slipping and falling through the cracks of your book. Because it will get on your nerves like, oh, I was supposed to be doing this right on this day. I should have been here on this day. Make sure you follow that. You're not under any pressure. It is no race. You're doing this at your pace. So if you're doing this on week 1, make sure you're following that up by like week 6, what you're supposed to be doing. Make sure everything is good. Another great tip when you're writing an ebook is you should have somebody edit it for you. Have somebody that you trust read it. Ask them for a review on it. It doesn't hurt though, because what you may have missed, someone may pick up. They may catch all the grammar errors, the spelling errors, punctuations, things like that. And you think for a second, like you may have thought that you caught all of that. But then you've been staring at it so long that you just think that you know, and you could trust somebody else that you trust to review your book, somebody else that's not gonna be out here giving all the deets to your book. Have them review it. Even if you know somebody that majored in English, even bigger. That's an even bigger deal for you. And that's one thing for certain that you definitely want to make sure that you take care of your grammar issues, spelling, punctuation, because if you post your book to someone like Amazon, people are definitely going to be reviewing your book. They're definitely going to be mentioning things like that. They're going to say they felt it was too short. They're going to say that it was too many errors and things like that. And that's not what you want to do. It may turn away other people that may be interested in your book. Now remember, you can create your ebook on your own time. It depends on you. You can do it in 6 months, you can do it in 2 months, 1 month even. If you're very creative with your writing skills like that, you can probably do it even sooner, maybe in a week. But just don't rush it. You want to be hungry, you want to be determined, but you don't want to be reckless. If this video added any value or any tips to helping you getting started with writing your ebook or helping you out with your book writing business, please hit that like button, drop some comments down below. Make sure you hit the subscribe. That was pretty loud. I think it kind of echoed in my house. Make sure you hit that notifications bell so you know when new videos are coming straight at you. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. Thanks for watching.